Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're continuing to read from 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the opulence of the absolute. Um, would somebody like to begin reading?
Okay. Hare Krishna. Brihat Sam Tatha Sam Nam Gayatri Chandasam Aham Masanam Margashisho Amritunam Kusumakaraha. Translation. Of the hymns in the Sam Ved, I am the Brihat Sam, and of the poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Margashish, November and December, and of the seasons, I am the flower-bearing spring. Purport. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas, he is the Samaved. The Samaved is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihat Sam, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulate poetry, rhyme, and meters are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the duly qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam because the Gayatri Mantra is specially meant for God realization. It represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people. And when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness, according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator, and it is passed down from him in disciplic succession. The month of November and December is considered the best of all months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time, and the people become very happy. Of course, spring is a season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold, and the flowers and the trees blossom and flourish. In spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons, and it is the representative of the Supreme Lord Krishna.
What is Krishna saying in this verse?
So Krishna is still trying to tell us that what he's the best. Like in this one, he's trying to tell that in the Vedas, he's the Samved. Of the
How many
hymns
Vedas
in the
are there?
Samved, there are 4 Vedas: Rig Ved, Yajurved, Sam, and Atharva Ved.
Atharva, yeah. So,
So
of the Samved, which is the particular poetry that he is?
Brahat Sam, he's saying.
Brahat Sam. Yeah.
And he's the Gayatri Mantra,
Yeah, Gayatri
poetry on the
Mantra.
Gayatri Mantra. So Shilpa ji, this Gayatri Mantra is the same Gayatri Mantra? Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha?
Yeah,
Or no?
different Gayatris.
Okay, it's a different Gayatri. Okay.
They are different Gayatris, and
Okay.
depending then how a person gets initiated from the spiritual master, they get a different
Okay.
Gayatri. But you have to be
Okay.
a Brahmana to chant the Gayatri.
Hmm.
You know, Otherwise, it
So like you
has
should be
kind of
initiated,
no
that means.
potency.
So you should be
Hmm?
initiated. The Brahmana means that you should
Initiated.
be initiated by a guru,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then he
Brahman
gives you the
initiation.
Gayatri.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he also tells about the month. He's a Margashish, November and December. And then he's telling that why.
Hmm.
Because it is the best time, and then he's the spring in the, like, as at that time it is spring and it is not too cold and not too hot, and like the grains are collected from the fields and it's a joyful season. So that's what he represents, the best among the best.
Yeah. November, December, because he's saying grains are collected, and spring
Mm.
because neither too hot nor cold. Okay, let's go on then.
Text 36. Dyutam chalayatam asmi tejas tejasvinam aham josmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattva sattvavatam aham. Translation. I am also the gambling of cheats and of the splendid. I am the splendor. I am victory. I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Purport. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As the supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one sided, it is all sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising, the most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous, and among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan Hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise. And no one can surpass him in strength.
What is he saying here?
Like he, among the cheaters, among the cheats, he's the supreme also, which is
Yeah.
gambling.
Yeah, he cheats us. We may not
Mm,
surrender to Krishna during our life. He allows us to think, but he cheats us. At death, we have to surrender to him then,
mm,
right?
yeah.
And he says, I am all devouring death, I am time. So we have to surrender to him at death then. What else he say?
He says he's the adventurous of all the adventure, and and he's the victory, and he's the
Victory.
strongest among the strength.
Yeah. Strength of the strong, victory, adventure. So we may get proud that, oh, I am so victorious, I am so
Mm,
strong. But actually, it's coming to us from Krishna. By
mm.
Krishna's grace, He's giving us this. Okay, go on.
Text 37. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayah Muninam api aham Vyasah Kavinam Ushna Kavihi. Translation. Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudev, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyas, and among great thinkers, I am Ushna. Purport. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Baladev is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baladev appeared as one of Vasudev, so both of them may be called Vasudev. From another point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all the forms of Krishna, that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudev is Krishna's immediate expansion. So Vasudev is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that the Vasudev referred to in this verse of Bhagavad Gita is Baladev or Balaram, because he is the original source of all the incarnations, and thus he is the soul. He is the sole source of Vasudev. The immediate expansions of the Lord are called Swamsha, personal expansions. And there are also expansions called Vibhin Amsha, separated expansions. Amongst the son of Pandu, Arjuna is famous as Dhananjaya. He is the best of men, therefore represents Krishna. Among the munis of the learned men conversant in the Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyas is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyas also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Ushna, Shukracharya, was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. Thus, Shukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. Wow.
So what is Krishna saying here?
So here Krishna is trying to tell us that among all the Vrishnis, he is the Vasudev. And among the Pandavas, he is Arjun. And of the sages, of the Munis, the sages, he is the Vyasadeva. And among the great thinkers, the poeters or the great thinkers, he's Ushna Shukracharya.
Mm. And who's the Vasudev Prabhupada is explaining in the purport? Who's the Vasudev mentioned in this verse?
In this, I think what they're trying to say is the Vasudev is the Balaramji.
Yes, Balaramji. Because Lord Balaram is Krishna's first expansion.
Mm.
And then from Balaram is coming all the other expansions. Okay. So let's go on.
X38. Dando damaya tam asmi nitir asmi jigis satam monam chaivasmi guhanam jnanam jnanavatam aham. Translation. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. Purport. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating, silence is most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself.
What is Krishna saying here?
It's like he's the punishment and he's the silence of all the things like we hear, we think. But the silence with silence we make progress very quickly. Actually, I did not understand this.
Because then
Confidential
we can, because, if we are just going to be busy always talking,
Mm.
then we won't be able to absorb much. If we're all the time talking, then that means we are not taking time to contemplate, right? But if we are silent, then we will hear more, absorb more. Of course, silence, speaking of Krishna, is also silence.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking about Krishna is real silence. And agency of chastisement, the law of karma is there. Can't escape that. You may escape material laws, but Krishna's material laws are very stringent, very strict. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Shilpaji, you just said that
Krishna.
speaking about Krishna is silence. So is it that also thinking about Krishna is also silence and hearing about
Yeah.
Krishna is also silence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because actually, kirtan, when we are doing kirtan, that is the real way of speaking. We are not speaking anything material.
Okay.
That's why it's
Okay.
been
Yes.
called
That's the
silence.
point. Okay. Okay. And then in the topmost part, what they're trying to say, the suppressing the agents, of which the most important are those that cut down the miscreants. So that's the punishment, right? When they are punished, when the miscreants are punished, that punishment is Krishna.
Yeah. Law of
Okay.
it is Krishna's, the laws of karma are there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
When,
by the laws of the karma, they are punished, right?
yeah, material laws,
Okay.
we may surpass it, but karma comes to us.
Okay.
And Krishna himself, when somebody is getting too aggressive, getting too out of hand, then Krishna is coming himself also.
Okay. Okay. Text 39. यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तद् अहम् अर्जुनः न तद् स्थितः विना यत् स्यान् मायाभूतां characharam. Translation. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am generating seed of all existence. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever exists is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not.
So
So,
what is Krishna saying?
Krishna ji is telling Arjuna that he's the seed of all the existence, of moving, non-moving. There is nothing that can exist without him. So everything exists because of him.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. But all existence is founded on Krishna. It's just we think something is separate from Krishna, and that is Maya, our thinking, our illusion. But actually, everything is created by Krishna, material world, spiritual world, living entities. So when we think something is separate than Krishna, not related to Krishna, not dependent on Krishna, that is Maya. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, text 40. Nantosti mam divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tudeshata parokto vibhuter vishtaro maya. Translation. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Purport. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness.
So what is Krishna saying?
He said whatever he has said, that is just a small part.
Yeah,
Yeah, a tiny
time.
indication that he has given.
Yeah. Because just like in the previous verse, we just heard that everything exists because of him. Now he's just said a few things. We just heard nothing can exist without Krishna. So everything exists with him. And he's just told us a few things just now. Okay.
Yad text 41. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjitamev va tat tat eva gaccha tvam mamte jo sma sambhavam. Translation. Now that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Purport. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinarily opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Wow.
Mm. So what is Krishna saying?
That if you see anything opulent, anything beautiful, anything opulent you see, that is just a spark of my splendor that comes from me. And that's his,
Yeah,
he's the creator. He
yeah, because
represents
Krishna is all opulent.
all
So each of
opulence.
us may have some opulences. And whatever opulence we have is we are getting it because Krishna has it. By Krishna's mercy, we have this. We see somebody very intelligent, so that's Krishna's grace on him. Very intelligent. Somebody very strong, Krishna's grace on him. Somebody very beautiful, Krishna's grace on him. Yeah,
Like even the beautiful flower, if you see,
yeah,
yeah, it's
so
because
true.
Krishna, right?
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
Text 42. Athava bahunetena kim kyatena tavarjuna Vishtabhayaham idam kritsnam ekam sena sthito jagat. Translation. By what need is there, Arjuna, of all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Purport. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the Super Soul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Super Soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigod will lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Supreme Goal. But worship of demigods is thoroughly discouraged herein because even the greatest demigods like Brahma and Shiva represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is Asamardhava, which means no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Padma Purana, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the super soul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees therefore concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, a great acharya in disciplic succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Vat Shakti Leshat Suryadya Bhavanti Ate Ugra Tejasa Yad Amshena Dhritam Vishwam Sa Krishno Dashame Prachyate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Krishna is worshipable. Thus end Bhaktivedanta purports to Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the opulence of the absolute.
So what is Krishna saying here? Single fragment of myself. Who is this single fragment of myself?
Um, Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu.
Yeah, Paramatma, yeah.
Yeah.
Shirodakshai Vishnu, yes.
In the form of
Yes.
Kshirodakshai Vishnu, Paramatma, Super Soul.
Yeah, yeah. He's there in everything, everything. That's why Krishna is saying to Arjun, what? You need this detailed knowledge. I'm supporting single fragment. So it's like Paramatma is his just a single fragment of Krishna. So Krishna is much, much, much more greater, right? Saying single by this, for my just by my expansion as super soul, I'm maintaining this universe.
Mm.
So, Asamordhva, what is Asamordhva?
Like no one is equal to him and no one can be superior to him.
Yeah, that is the position of God. No one is equal to it, no one is. Because his partial representation is the super soul.
Mm.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Mm.
So Krishna is giving us just a few ways how we can understand his omnipotency in this world. The more we can understand Krishna's greatness, the more we will be able to surrender to Krishna, the more we will be able to understand there's a difference between us and Krishna.
Mm.
Stop here for today.
Okay.
Okay. Bhagavad
Okay.
Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.